Is this a good composting toilet design, or just a load of shapes of wood? Okay, well, let's just pause the video there for a moment. I don't look that miserable normally, honestly, but it had just been snowing, it was freezing and it was windy. Okay, in this video we're going to talk about composting toilets, and this is our design. We've got various details from the internet, but we've put them together in a way that we think is going to be very practical and very usable. This is a working model. In this case, we've got our urine and human waste separator over this side. We've got a compartment for our sawdust. You can use moss or many other biodegradable things. And this side we've got a section for our toilet rolls. We're going to give you as much detail about this build as possible, and then I'll be able to give you some plans at the end and some links to some PDF documents showing the cut list and the plan and the details. And we'll have a little talk about the tools that we've used here, because some of these in particular I found very, very useful so far. And more about that at the end of the video. Here we have the components that we've used in the project, and we'll now just talk about each one individually. The key part of this composting toilet is the fiberglass urine separator diverter that comes from the fantastically named Strumpet and Trollop, and links again will be below. The rear section is where the jobbies drop through, and the front small aperture is where the urine gets diverted down to the container below. And that container is a 5-litre water carrier that we got from Amazon. This is a diaper or nappy bucket, again from Amazon, for receiving the solid waste. This is a soft close toilet seat. The soft close bit shouldn't really matter, because the idea with a urine diverter is that you have to sit down to pee, and that's you as well, guys. Just get used to it. It's definitely worth it in the end. We made a small cardboard mock-up so we could figure out the exact positioning of the hole, because with the seat, if it was too far backwards, the front of the toilet would be pushing up against the back of your knees. For our build, we've used 11mm thick oriented strand board. It's cheap, it's easily available, and it's pretty forgiving. Each of the pieces from the OSB were cut from a plan that was made up from a free online tool called Cut List Optimizer. Just enter that name into a search engine of your choice and it should take you to the website, and you can sign up for a free account for really basic use. But it's more than adequate. It's fairly simple to use. You just enter the sizes of the panels that you want to cut for your composting toilet, tell it the size of the sheet that you're cutting from, and it will build a cut list for you. I'll go into that in more detail on a separate video. It's definitely worth exploring. Hopefully this will leave you with a pile of timber ready to go for assembly into the basic structure of your bog. Knowing this was going to be a working model, we've just screwed ours together because we knew we were going to have to disassemble it and tweak things as we went along. But you may choose to either glue and screw it or use biscuit joints or anything else if you really want to get quite fancy. This is the top section of the loo. What I'm pointing to here is the toilet seat section before the hole is cut. Here the hole's been cut and the urine diverter has been fitted, plus you can see where I've added the hinges. You can see here where the diverter's arrowed. It's about 2-3mm thick fiberglass, and my concern is with the toilet seat resting on the edge of the fiberglass, it might over time get little stress fractures and cause premature failure. So I've taken our mini router and just taken down a few millimeters, 2-3mm, just enough to sink the diverter into the OSB. And you can see here now the top of the diverter's flush with the top of the OSB, so the feet from the toilet seat are resting on the top face of the OSB, a much better option. Drilled a couple of holes so that the bolts for the toilet seat can come through. They're a little bit too long, but they're not really interfering with anything, so I'll leave them and see how we go. If you go for the Strumpet and Trollop urine diverter, it comes with this strainer. Now the bottom of the strainer has got this star-shaped washer on it. It's not meant to completely retain it, so you can take it out for cleaning, but it's just enough there so when the toilet seat is tilted up so you can get to the waste buckets underneath, it will hold it in place. You know, I just can't say Strumpet and Trollop without having a smile on my face. It's such a fantastic name, and it sounds like a great company. Two lassies working away, making a living out of something they're quite passionate about. And remember, it might be shit to us, but it's their bread and butter. This is how the urine receiver and this solid waste bucket sit within the main compartment. Now this is pretty much the finished article. All three doors open there. On the left showing the sawdust and wood shaving area, that's where we're going to be putting on top of your jobbies, and on the right the toilet paper. And again, when you're using this, you've got to be really careful, make sure you use some easily biodegradable toilet paper. And now it's time for tool talk. The first item here on the right, the Urbar electric multi-cut tool. The little handle on top that you'll see in a moment is spun around to undo the securing nut, which so you can change blades. This means you can cut plastic, metal, wood, pretty much anything. It's a really handy tool for those very awkward cuts, particularly if you're cutting flush up against something. This is the Urbar EPR 710 palm router. It's an electric router, much smaller, more compact than the big heavy duty affairs, but this is really good if you just want to do small adjustments, rounding over, routing out little channels. Really useful bit of kit, but you do have to buy the little router bits separately. Still, it's an incredibly handy bit of kit. This is an old second-hand DeWalt battery drill, really handy, can't really do without it on any project. Because it's second hand, the batteries get tired really quickly, so it looks like we'll have to splash out on getting some replacements soon. The only other really useful tool that I've used on this project has been a battery powered mini circular saw, but I'll talk about that when we have the video about the cut list optimizer. One improvement we've gone for on this design, at my wife's suggestion, was having this little cutback. This is about 10 centimeters shorter at the bottom than it is at the top, and that's just so when you're sitting down on the pan, your feet can sort of tuck back, or your heels can tuck back a little bit more comfortably, and also when you're sitting down you don't have an absolute fall back plonk onto the toilet. I think it'll be a lot more comfortable. Design wise, it's really simple. As we said earlier, OSB 3. You might want to choose to make it out of plywood or any other material, but we like this because it's simple, easy to work with, and we're going to be using a lot of OSB on the project. So for us, it's a winner. So that's our design. We think it'll work. We'll give you lots of feedback about how well it works and if it can be improved. As I said before, this is basic OSB 3, which is low in formaldehyde, but it's also really easy to work with, and we look forward to receiving any comments from you. In the meantime, enjoy watching the toilet seats close. Time for some music, I think.
Please wait. Your business is important to us.
Oh, there we go. See you again soon. If you liked what you've seen, it would be really useful to us if you click the like button, subscribe, tap the bell icon, and add any comments down below. We'll try and answer any of your questions. See you for now.